I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The Botanical Gardens bring back very good memories to me. When I was from the age 3, 4, 5, 6, my grandmother lived in town at where City View Hotel is now. It was a house called Court Lodge. So we'd come in from the factory and my dad would take us for a walk up into the Botanical Gardens. And the big deal was to go mountain climbing. And when you imagine when you're 4, 5, 6, down in the quarry, that looked like a mountain to you, climbing up. And so we would try and scramble and, you know, get as high up as we could in the Botanical Gardens in the quarry on the wall. And the other things that was fun, and we'd see the other kids and the bigger kids doing it, is on a cardboard box when the grass was fairly dry, sliding down like snow sledding. 1903, it was originally in Clare Hall, and a hurricane wiped it out. It was far too exposed, and they decided that it would be better if it could be in a more secluded area, more protected area. And there was an old quarry where Victoria Park is now, the Botanical Gardens, that was used as part of building St. John's in the old days. It was about 30 feet deep and about half an acre in size, that part. And they decided it would be far more protected in that area from further hurricanes. So in 1903, it was moved to its site where it is now today.
I used to go to the Botanical Gardens in the old days, and I was a school teacher then at the St. John's Boys' School. And I went there to do my studies because we all had to do our annual exams, which teachers' exams. And it was nice going up there during the holiday time and just spending the days there at the Botanical. They had a little sort of hut that you could go into, a sun hut to keep the sun off you. And on Sundays we used to go up there, myself, my dad, and all the family used to gather up there on the times when the police band was playing on a Sunday afternoon. And that's mainly the things that I remember about it. It used to look quite tidy, quite interesting. When I came back here after 50 years in England, I found that it was a little bit dilapidated. I wondered why it got so bad. But I'm glad that they're improving it now.
Welcome to Gardens of Antigua. We're taking a tour of the Botanical Gardens at Victoria Park. The Environment Division have been assigned with a very tough job of restoring the park to its former glory. So I'm meeting with the team and we're going to take you through the park. A lot is going on right now, a lot has been done, but we'd love you to share with us and see what's going on with the restoration. This is the crew that's going to be showing me around the park, and we're going to be talking about the restoration, the plans, dreams, the vision. It's a young crew and the park is pretty old, but they're hoping to restore it to its former glory, and I have every confidence that they will be able to do that. So, are we ready?
Yes.
Yes. Let's go. Ulrika, what I notice about the park, there's already a footprint there. Mm-hmm. It's a marvelous footprint, and there's already a lot of cleanings being done, so you can see where the design is and what the park used to be.
Yeah.
We've got some incredible trees here, like this mahogany, and I noticed that a bromeliad, or a form of bromeliad, epiphytic, is growing on the tree. Beautiful aerial roots, which all show the age and the character of the tree. I also loved all this color that we are greeted with when we come in, the flamboyance of flowering. And we've got the golden showers over here. This is a neem tree, right? Yeah. So the actual footprint of the park, or the park has been cleared enough so we can even see the footprint of the park
Yes.
and see some of the beauty that used to be there. Now, I know when we walked earlier, you mentioned this area was is this going to be the children's area?
Well, as a child, I do remember coming and playing over
You
here.
do?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not that old.
I know, that surprises me.
this
No, I'm not surprised.
I understand.
Okay.
But like this area, I think, if I do remember correctly, that was there before. But obviously it does need some level of refurbishment. But we want to maintain some of what was there before, as well as to put our own imprint on it. Now, of course, the thing about the Environment Division is that we have a mandate. And our mandate here is not just to refurbish the Victoria Park, but also to give it, to tie in with some of the conventions that we have been working with. We've been working with the Convention on Climate Change, the Convention on Biological Diversity, and the Convention on Land Degradation. And it's so important for us to use this park as a showpiece for explaining all of those concepts.
Well, I think that's a wonderful idea because we're really adding to the dimension.
Yes.
Because I imagine back in the day when the British handed over the park, those were not concerns.
No, they weren't.
So we're kind of adding a modern day touch to it.
Yes, definitely. And so like, for instance, this area that we just mentioned, we want to see this as our biodiversity center. And I mean, if you listen very closely, you can hear the birds chirping, and there's so many different types of trees and plants. And we want to maintain some of that so that we can have a lovely biodiversity center. Now, and our biodiversity center is not just going to be plants, but we want it to be like a living classroom. So our children can come in and they can learn, they can help plant, they can help be a part of biodiversity as it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a wonderful idea, but how are you going to implement it? Where is that coming from? Because right now, it's not here. But there's a wonderful outline
Yes.
of what could be. So,
Well, we do have a management plan, and we've only recently come over here. We've been here since March. So there's quite a lot of work that we still need to do. But we have begun the framework for our after-school program, which will be really the center for our living classroom.
fantastic. Well, you say you've had it just since March, but you have done an awful lot in that short period of time.
Yes.
I'm not sure that there are too many people who have been here between then and come back now to see the kind of changes that have taken place. I have, and I know, I think you guys have done an incredible job already.
And of course, we have to give kudos to our nursery manager and staff, because they have been the ones who've been doing a lot of the clearing over in this area.
Right. Now, Janelle, did I get that right? Okay. You're the nursery manager and you're familiar with a lot of the plants and the trees and the shrubbery that's already in the park. When you were doing the cleaning, were you there to identify, to say, no, don't take that, or how did that work?
What we do before, we have identified a few plants that we know for sure that we're going to remove, and a few plants that we're going to keep. More likely the wild plants and the damaged plants, but most of all we try to keep almost every single thing in the park, so people can come around and see all the different type of trees.
Now, and who will be responsible for labeling the things? Does that fall under your jurisdiction?
Sure, me or Miss Taylor.
I see. Okay.
We're working together.
Now, I know this has been cleared up. It's interesting that this is like a wheelchair ramp.
Yes.
So it's
Wheelchair accessible. And that
right.
is actually one of the things that we want to make very strong within the park, is that anyone can come in. So we want to make areas wheelchair accessible, and as well for the elderly to feel that they can come and they can walk, and it'll be easy for them as well.
Right.
Because a park shouldn't just be about just enjoying the beauty. You should be able to exercise as well, eh?
Right. Well, this is a wonderful space we have right in the middle of town, and I think it's great to use it in as many ways as possible. I think the after-school program you talked about sounds like a wonderful idea, because what better place for children to learn about biodiversity and ecology than someplace like
in
this.
here, yes.
And a place that is rich in history. It's been around for a long time, so there's a lot to be learned just from going around here.
Feel secure, insured, call General Insurance. You got a friend, you got a friend, you got a friend.
Thank you for choosing General Insurance Company. How may we help you?
Call General Insurance. You got a friend.
Let's go shopping at the Bargain Center. Everybody shopping at the Bargain Center. Move your body now. Let's go shopping at the Bargain Center. Everybody shopping at the Bargain Center. Move your body. Let's go shopping. Everybody, let's go shopping. Bargain Center, let's go shopping. Everybody, let's go shopping. Move your body now.
Bargain Centre Hardware on Kentish Road has everything you need for building and DIY. Great savings all the time. What are you waiting for? Move that body!
Hello, I am Jacqueline Johnson, the wedding guru of MarryCaribbean.com.
Want to know the best hotel, the best destination, the best service providers in the industry, the best shopping experience? From Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, Tobago, the British Virgin Islands, and the United States Virgin Islands.
MarryCaribbean.com.
I see stonework is already in place, which it looks like it needs a little firming up or a little strengthening up. So I guess back then they put in these retaining walls to prevent erosion. And I'm wondering whether these are sort of remnants of the kind of plants that were grown here at that time.
Possibly.
Or I wonder whether these were added when there was a task force, I know, assigned to do this back in the 80s.
It's possible, and I'm not sure that we really know when those were put in, but what is evident is that they've used plants that work in those areas.
Right. And that's very important.
That's important.
Because it sends a message. It says, I'm working here, don't remove me, just add to me.
Add to me, yes.
So obviously the bromeliads are all working very well here. We've got some palms that are kind of popped up unexpectedly. Like,
yes.
I think that's like a
There's one
Chinese
behind
fan
there.
palm,
yes.
which is a beautiful palm, but in an unfortunate position.
Quite.
What are you going to do in situations like that?
Well, in some cases we want to replant them, but I really don't think we can move that particular one.
No,
I mean,
it's
a mature plant as it is, and even though I think for some reason I enjoy the wild beauty of it.
I do too. I do too. Because this is nature at its finest.
Yes.
Wherever that seed dropped, boom, it was left there. And it's an incredible palm, and it's quite old. It looks like a Chinese fan palm or something like that. And obviously from the size of it, it's been there for a while. So, and this is a beautiful tree here, this turpentine tree. I think
yes, it's really gorgeous.
Yeah. I always love the bark. It reminds me of a bad sunburn. Just gorgeous.
Which is not usually a very pleasant thing to think about.
No, it's not. My warped sense of humor, I think. So round here, if we can replace that with the same kind of plants that are already there. Now, one thing we need to look at are the remnants of water features that were part of the park.
There are several throughout.
I love the way that they have been so subtly incorporated into this stonework around here. It looks like this used to be a small pond.
Yeah.
So to keep that and just restore it.
And really, one of the things that we want to do in the park is also to showcase how persons can keep clean and healthy waterways. I mean, we know that we have many situations of flooding in different parts of Antigua, and one of the problems that we have is that people haven't kept the waterways clean and healthy.
Right.
So maybe this might be one of the spots where we'll demonstrate how to do just that.
Right. And you know, the other thing here, I see all these flamboyants. Now, they're such wonderful shade trees and provide so much color, I hope you'll be able to keep all these young ones. I should ask Janelle this. Will you be able to keep these young ones and propagate them?
Sure, we will transplant them, take them to the greenhouse,
right,
and take better care of them.
Yeah, fantastic. So much of what we need in the park is already here. It's just a question of finding it and, as Janelle said, taking care of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously as well, some of these trees, we won't be able to use them in the park. But during our Arbor Month celebrations, when we invite persons to come and get some free trees from us, they can, of course, also get some flamboyant as well.
Right.
Yes.
Fantastic. Wonderful idea. Now, you mentioned an Arbor Month. What's that exactly?
Well, Arbor Month is generally celebrated during November. And for the whole month of November, we speak about tree planting and tree care. And on one specific day, we have a plant fair. And during the plant fair, we have thousands of trees, both fruit trees. What else do we have, Janelle? Fruit trees?
Yeah, fruit trees, palm trees.
Palms.
Shade trees.
Shade trees. And ornamentals as well.
That sounds wonderful.
That we kind of give them away, but in exchange for a few plant bags.
Right.
So
that's a wonderful idea.
So we can get plant bags to propagate for the following year.
I'm just noticing this. This is, I've forgotten the botanical name, but it's an umbrella tree. I guess it's because of the shape of these, and it has a wonderful reddy flower, pinky flower. Looks a bit like a pink pooey, but it's, I mean, to have something like that, that's quite unusual to have that here.
I think the Botanical Gardens is a bit of unusual things, eh?
Yes, absolutely. I guess someone who's really into plants, well, I'm really into plants, but someone who knows about plants would have a field day here, identifying some of these. Now this is another water feature. It looks like it could have been a water trough or something. But it will be great because it's there and it's beautiful. It'll be great to maintain it. Have water lilies, a water garden of some sort.
Yes. And a part of our plan too is that for our irrigation and for our water, we want to use the grey water that comes from the Environment Division and hopefully from other ministries to use as irrigation throughout the plants so that we can demonstrate that this is one of the ways that we adapt to climate change by reusing water instead of always trying to get it directly from our groundwater sources.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because the best way to teach a lesson, of course, is to live it.
Is to do it. That's true. That's true.
Now, obviously, all around the perimeters of this inner sanctum here were walls, and they were obviously filled with something at one point. And I have to believe it's probably different kinds of bromeliads because they're still there, and there's that umbrella tree again.
Though I think, Janelle can probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that sometimes they kind of overdid. Not necessarily, they kind of came up more than they were intended initially.
Right.
So I think because of a lot of the misuse or mismanagement of the place that has happened over the years, it's grown a bit wild. But we do want to try to keep some of it because it's so pretty when they flower.
Right. Well, so we walk around here now. Go back again, more bromeliads.
A really nice one there too. Hidden.
Some of which are flowering or have flowered. We've got a lot of these popping up. I guess those will be removed. I don't know whether it's neems. I'm not sure what it is.
You see, what we've been doing, though, Janelle has been doing, is that his team has been working on just this area for the past 2 months.
And I can tell.
And yes, it really does look
different.
It really is gorgeous now. And then when they finish this area, then we're going to start moving into that area to start that clearing.
I'm so delighted that all these flamboyants and wonderful shade trees are here. I mean, apart from the color, which is just beautiful, just kind of creates its own microclimate here.
Yes.
And gives you an opportunity to plant other types of shrubbery that might not be able to plant anywhere else in the park.
That's true.
Yeah. So, and although there are a lot of bromeliads, it's good. I mean, there's a huge variety of bromeliads. So these are just one type, but there's a huge variety which would add more interest.
And another water feature.
Ah, yes. It would be interesting to know what type of water feature this is.
Perhaps you can walk around this way.
Yes, I was going to say, I'm not going to attempt to climb up it.
Right here is easier to get around it.
Oh, this was obviously, was it some sort of drinking fountain? Or?
We have no idea.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm so glad we're kind of documenting all this. So in the next 10, 20 years, there'll be no question of what it is.
Yeah.
We'll know, we'll have everything.
And there's another one,
on record.
an exact replica of it on the other side over there.
Very interesting.
So there's lots going on.
Yeah, there is. It's just about, I guess, being able to keep the water and keeping the water circulated in there so it doesn't become, you know, foul and stagnant. Walking down here, lots of little meandering concrete paths which add interest. Now, I'm wondering whether these are new or were they part of the park?
Well, they've been part of the park since we've gotten it, and I don't know if I remember the park without them.
Right. Now, you mentioned when you were a little girl, you used to come to the park. Okay. So what, do you just enjoy picnics here, or what did you do?
Very interestingly, I was speaking to my mother about it the other day, and we both realized that we never came into this section of the park because it never seemed quite safe to come behind here. And so a lot of the times we played up at the top, or we slid down the hill by the big tree.
Right.
And that is one of the things that we really want to get to let people get that level of safety within the park. And so even in terms of lighting, we're looking at renewable energy and using that to light our park. So we'll have solar, we have a lot of light fixtures all around, and we're going to use solar energy to light that as well, demonstrating adaptation to climate change, and it provides some safety.
Right. And I'm hoping, I mean, people will then take these and apply them to their own personal spaces.
That's the hope.
It would make a lot of sense. Certainly would save you a huge electricity bill.
Yes.
Now this is quite interesting here. Now, apparently this is where orchids are displayed. We can't see any right now.
No,
all we can see are the aerial roots from the orchids, which is quite beautiful in itself. But I think when I was here not too long ago, there were some flowers on it.
Yes, but they seem to have all fallen off.
Yeah.
There's one sad little one there.
Oh, yeah. I do hope they'll...
And they're beautiful and purple.
Right, and some here too.
They're
some buds. So they're not totally... Oh, yeah, I see a few buds all over the place. So they're not totally dead. They're just waiting to bloom and not blooming today, when that would have been very nice there. But it's a magnificent tree, and I guess some hurricane at some point probably knocked it over. But the trees kept growing.
And I guess, you see what, this is an opportunity for somebody to come back some other time and see if the flowers have then bloomed. And so you see it now, it's budding, come back and see when it's blooming.
Right. It's quite lovely. I hope you'll continue to put orchids on it.
Yes, actually the plan, well, one of the things that we've been thinking about is to have some of the areas covered in orchids that are just local. What we want to do is maintain an area here in Antigua that says these are Antiguan flowers, these are Antiguan flora. And so we want to use our local orchids throughout some of the parks, especially to demonstrate biodiversity again.
Right, fantastic.
Yes.
I noticed there's several palm trees in here, which is great because palms are just the easiest thing to maintain. Well, not the easiest, but certainly they don't require as much attention, and they can withstand droughts. And this mural here, do you have any idea where that comes from, or what was the intention behind it?
I have no idea, really. We've been speaking about it for a while, and it seems that it was put here in 2006. But one of the things that we want to do within the park is for it to be a creative space. We want it to be for artists and persons who have that kind of nature to be able to come in and do things within the park. So obviously this will be another area that we can focus on for artists to enjoy. And you know, you can have art classes in the park, and that can be a lovely focal point as well. So there's a lot that can happen here.
Yes, yes, there really is. This is such a great space, and you've got such a huge vision for it.
Yes, we do.
I'm excited. All around the inner sanctum of the park are steps. We've just come up some steps here, and this is the hill on the outer edges of the inner sanctum, and it's a beautiful space.
It's gorgeous.
It's filled with frangipani and all different kinds of flowering trees. I see a casulina there. Another frangipani over here. And in this space, there's a different kind of feel to it.
There's definitely a different feel.
Very tranquil still.
Feel secure, insured, call General Insurance. You got a friend, you got a friend, you got a friend.
Thank you for choosing General Insurance Company. How may we help you?
Call General Insurance. You got a friend.
At the bargain center, everybody shopping at the bargain center. Move your body now, let's go shopping at the bargain center. Everybody shopping at the bargain center. Move your body, let's go shopping. Everybody, let's go shopping. Bargain center, let's go shopping. Everybody, let's go shopping. Move your body now, let's go shopping. Everybody, let's go shopping. Move your body now.
Come see what we're doing at Bargain Centre at Perry Bay. We have the best prices and quality. We're working harder to serve you better. Come on down to Bargain Centre. Move that body.
Everybody shopping at the Bargain Center. Move your body now, let's go shopping at the Bargain Center.
Hello, I am Jacqueline Johnson, the wedding guru of MarryCaribbean.com.
Want to know the best hotel, the best destination, the best service providers in the industry, the best shopping experience? From Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, Tobago, the British Virgin Islands, and the United States Virgin Islands.
MarryCaribbean.com.
Erika, thank you so much for showing us around the park and talking about your plans and your vision for it. I hope the message was clear that you need the help of community and businesses in order to make this a success.
We definitely need everyone to pitch in, because this Botanical Gardens is not, again, it's not about the Environment Division, it's about Antigua. It's about who we are as a people and a matter of how we can showcase that to the world.
Right. And we want to see Antigua as a leader in the region. Every island has a botanical gardens, and we have ours.
Yes.
I mean, and we're on the edge of it being great. So it can happen, but if everybody has to pitch in, everyone has to do their little bit, even if it means just visiting the park and remember to clean up.
Oh.
Do not leave. I mean, you guys have done a wonderful job of cleaning the park, and yet we're now encountering litter.
Yes.
Where people, in fact, one of the garbage receptacles that you had out was taken.
Yes.
So we have to do our part. We have to visit the park, enjoy the park, and not litter, keep it clean. But beyond that, if we have plants or anything we can donate to the park, then the Environment Division is ready and waiting.
So eager for help.
Thank you very much for joining us on Gardens of Antigua. Ulrika, would you like to say goodbye? Any last messages?
Join us as we create a legacy in the Victoria Park Botanical Gardens.
Thank you very much for joining us on Gardens of Antigua. Till next time, happy gardening. If you would like to leave a comment about this show or just join in our garden conversation, then check us out, Gardens of Antigua, on Facebook, and don't forget to like us.